unfortunately, no. Why Hannah, you have to deal with this for almost about 4 years. As we say in your coin, as you to Abanibium. And we see any other side you may aba. Aha. Yen kasa en kakasa en diatem. Aha. Yen kasa ntia obia. De kaya no kre. Send the assembly no na de ato. En chemu e wo ho no na de aba. Se ne be ya se wo koto aba na se wo susu hu esi gina ya wo gina so pa wo de be gina na wo de si gina ya no. If na kopem December 7th kwesi ada bia eni ya wo de bia no oba be ka ye ho na ye didi nkomo. Every episode ye be fa sector by sector by sector ya to ye boase ye no nyina etu sa akwantuo no bibia free a ya ba bedru ha bibia ye ko dia MPP aban be ye efie wotwe a Ghana for madaroma mode edwuma hye yensa dia yetumi aye dia ka yentumi yeye ene Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia dai so yini riswadi hu owo e magana man die nti asadwumedi wei ehun hia no enche bia be ka ho asem but enyumre no almost about 6 national channels and enkomodie yehwe also live across the country. So there were over 20 community radio stations across the country in the various regions and so yetie na ne kase paaye over 1,100 community information centers me no kase yi omu nyina afasa dwumedie a bibia wo bia wo Ghana afa na nyina no obeti enka ebusiafo abato ho ewo nsunsanso oto abapa obenya so nsunsanso pa oto ababone so a obetu enya so nsunsanso bone na de tie ne se enne akopem December 7th esa de esi pen de esi anano ene ehun nsunsanso a yehu yenti ye de ye wo new patriotic party ye wo gidie kase pa se ye fa sector by sector by sector ne ka se ye hwehwem ne ya compare ye dwumedi a ye di ene omo ne ye pre omo so munya ho akwan de omo ye ya ye wo gidie kase pa se ya boy homoden no kre bebre ne ye bebre so na aka ye nya wie ye ne mum se ne ba ya de si in the year 2008 essence die munti ehun behia se ye be man komodie na koso a kopo membra ye nyina betumi ehun se bibie eduru de sei ene ye de Ghana efaso a ebeboae mentwe ya dwen ko bibi kakra mo be kaya in the year 2000 omampanin kufo eba bedi ade in the year 2000 yema bebre ena utumi ye in fact at the time omampanin kufo ba abe mu no na Ghana ye wo yonkotodwe ni mu na no ma sei na no ma atete apansam ya yaresa ne nkoyie ya kwan ne nkoyie ye nyumasem ne nkoyie ye sikasem ne nkoyie almost everything was aground omampanin kufo between the year 2000 to 2008 ansa no bifi aban mu no man we opejan yakoyedim akwakodum pempenso bia na ye say we're in the golden age of business. You say Ghana, the gateway to Africa. It's a world Africa menu. You know the shining black star. Or man be a per se, or near and any be a per se, or near Kitamudi. Between the year 2000 and 2008, in the part President Kofoye Nina, a do baby no, now we fee, na banks about Jose, Bejobosiana for Yeduma, Barclays Bank, Standard Chartered Bank, Stanbic Bank, Fidelity Bank. These banks were coming to our homes. See, Mbeje Bosia, the Yafayu Duma, Omo de Tata. On my way, MPP are buying enemy who say, see you to be for mining sika, and the board of mining Nina Aquama. National Health Insurance. National Health Insurance, in the be a crime who say, and found baby on my way, a bad didn't say, Sabine Castle Paso Boa, Uber to me, I can say, or buy one yeshi amount. The National be cash and carry if you at a point in time my room answer MPP ababado na sebe se wunya car shiampo near the Ukodu hospital na se ye de ensashe obotom ni ehun se sika wo mu a next for beja what was say ubusi nimra no betua anse ya hwe ne fe de cash and carry omampeni nkofo be yi free ho oma we e bia na refi at some point in time in our lives na finance minister eco parliament so ko kind budgeter okay kind maternal mortality rate and infant mortality rate chese enkolado do ye kwa wo so omakowu ene ye maame no mo a omukwa wo so sebi omuhwe omunkwa. That is how low we were as a country, and there was only one reason. Sambreno na sika na ya wofo ye maame no ne ye papa no e de be ko hospital ne age omowo esan cash carry ebi ni honti obetini fie no wa prayer so bewo eto de bia moje tu na wie na agi nsem no ase ya fa na se ye de ne ko hospital ye be du hospital no na wa hwe no nkwa enti ye ko parliament ye ko kan ye budget a ye ko kan dodo a afemu no ye hwe omo omampeni kufo hu wi e ma MPP aban e ko face ka by say ye ntumi ntina se no man no ye nkeka ko saa enti or the free maternal care den e bae e ma enemi no ka say saa statistics na ye kenkan embebi etwemu no eni ye fi ho omampeni kufo akwan nsuo enwuma esika sem toto ani ye bibia ko nani mfrekope enso mo be kai bribi ye do the year 2008 on my way mu enyina be dia dance say omampeni kufo benya akwanhia kakra. That was the time na America global economic crunch on real estate won sensem about Wall Street won sika sema basa e ka wiase afa na nyina in the year 2008 safi ni mu no 2008 na omampeni kufo ye kwakoto aba no safi ni mu no na fuo ashorte e Ghana ha o petrol ato a obetumi aye line be 2 days and say when you 1 gallon ato safi ni mu no embra na fuo na short no na fuo prices no so asaya den akosoro. That same year in the year 2008 ena insuo e shorte wo Ghana ha enkran mu kura na ye enkran kuro ye kopo mu no amanfo so ria no pa omukura gallons yellow ena omode nam epensuo edu bebi na enkran mu a esi ye the gallon yellow na kosensuo e wo gotemu eno na mo be kai a e ma kofo gallon e baye ebusuafo esande how mienu we nti ahoche mienu we nti enne pa na president kofo aye nyina be 2008 no na ehun nsem ka ayeden. Of course opposition for ye ne yayi omo ne yen epre akoni yayi ne omo san adi sa dwumedi yayi dia omo ye na ne yi enu bi pepe na 2008 omo mpeni kofo nya how mienu omo ye enti omo hu so how aba omo se Ghana fo ni atane kakra enti quickly na omo start say yes omo di propaganda twist skew omo di nam enti asem no edase ya no machia to say ye tuntum omo si fita omo ko print papers e de nante Ghana ha nyina asem hwe omo mpeni kofo ne mpeni fo ya kronfo omo wi Ghana ske nyina NIB bank statement GCB bank statement ene hu ekoneba edu baby krampo no ene omo general secretary o ti akonyo so general secretary of omo party no e publish one newspaper mu say omampeni kofo ene na ban ewia Ghana gold the World Bank of Ghana nyina e de sa gold no e kwa abrechi e ma Bank of Ghana vote na gold ni gum no aye empty me wo video no me bo akere mo na asemwe okawie na afedie Ghana fo gina so etie omo of course na ho chaba nso ni ho kan say petrol pa eden enti say obeka kire me say mento abenti aban na wo ho na be dey say metie aban no in spite of all the things no man penin kofo aye no enti Ghana for eto and trolling kontompo na NDC for ene omo general secretary ni perform wo nyina yi omo to ma aye no e me to abati a omo penin kofo ene na ban na in the year 2025 January 2009 January ye to abamo omo afedie omo be form omo government omo converting omo nam omo bo apro na ebi so mo say ensem amo ka for mampeni kofo na NPP aban ho se na mo say omo wie ska omo wie gold omo yesi no anya bia eho asem etesen ebusafo mo me hwede a esie.
The Lens newspaper reported that the NPP government has sold off the gold reserves of this country, all the gold reserves of this country. Can you tell us whether it's one of the propaganda that your newspaper is to churn out, or you have facts as to the quantum of the gold, the value of the gold, and the buyer of the gold? Can you tell us?
Yeah, before I can answer that, it's important for the honorable member, Mr. Chairman, to apprise me of exactly what he's talking about. As far as I know, there was a report on the web, I think before election, and that report was killed by various newspapers in the country. I think it was not just papers who were even pro-NDC, there were also other papers that killed it. If that's the report you're talking about, clearly that report did not generate from the Lens newspaper at all.
So you carried a report that you didn't have evidential support for. Is that what you're telling us? That you were the conveyor belt of somebody else's story, and you didn't have any evidential support at all, that the government of the NPP has sold all the gold reserves of this country? Is that the kind of thing that you want people to be doing in the Ministry of Finance? The Lens newspaper reported that the NPP government has sold off the gold reserves of this country, all the gold reserves of this country. Can you tell us whether it's one of the propaganda that your newspaper is to churn out, or you have facts as to the quantum of the gold, the value of the gold, and the buyer of the gold? Can you tell us?
Yeah, before I can answer that, it's important for the honorable member, Mr. Chairman, to apprise me of exactly what he's talking about. As far as I know, there was a report on the web, I think before election, and that report was killed by various newspapers in the country. I think it was not just papers who were even pro-NDC, there were also other papers that killed it. If that's the report you're talking about, clearly that report did not generate from the Lens newspaper at all.
So you carried a report that you didn't have evidential support for. Is that what you're telling us? That you were the conveyor belt of somebody else's story, and you didn't have any evidential support at all, that the government of the NPP has sold all the gold reserves of this country? Is that the kind of thing that you want people to be doing in the Ministry of Finance? The Lens newspaper reported that the NPP government has sold off the gold reserves of this country, all the gold reserves of this country. Can you tell us whether it's one of the propaganda that your newspaper is to churn out, or you have facts as to the quantum of the gold?
And in the way, say omoka and some akasie. Another way, and some akasie, and a year call into the year 2008 elections. Omoka say pepe. Now, ohe, and some omoka in the year 2008. Now, share the omoya this year. There is no difference because they're the same group of people. Now, the point here is this: Aboagye, you say, Kendi Fopa, yen cancer we Kendi Fopa pa wa biya just or how near manimu emma. Nemo, the difference between Kendinia and a leader, or you're very good, no? Any leader wasano, eye. Bako, so how near mani ba or tuning sako yim na or say, o nihu in yanubia, be no obey yafaho, be no bit me yafaho, and yet the amobekana otie, while you're join phone, can the 4 papa de nipa, or didn't pay him, na so how near mani ba or case me jidi say, be the edu nyoma mo ding, and so, and na mo me jidi say between you 2 years if you're harnum, any. The difference between a very bad leader and a good leader is that the good leader, in the midst of crisis, in the midst of challenges, would work together with the people, drive the people, and get them out of the challenges. But what these opponents, what they do is that when they are in opposition, they write only on the ills, misrepresent it, peddle falsehood, turn it, exaggerate it, build on the emotions of the people so they can get power. And then when they get power, the consequences, any day in the year 2016, it's a moon, and then Papa no Okase or say in some or kind of 2008, I was minister for the own year, no, or say, oh, in some of carry me, and I'm meaning so be out. Nanen Crawford can a messenger day, be KB, but the people of Ghana in 2008, took a decision based on science some now we do newspaper no a publish here no afi be man nyina so a o se nyini nyina so I can tell you say pe and omodi yen ebeko in the year 2024 elections say amayeni ayeden under hwa dodo na ban yaye in terms of education, in terms of health, in terms of road infrastructure, agriculture, industrialization, a lot of things na ban we buy it media to akwemu by ejitum. If in the year 2020 a COVID buy along the line 2022, 2023, 2021 Ukraine Russian war ebeka ho ene or how the bria koso we ase afa na nya be dia dance say almost every country is working hard to get out of this economic crisis. The economy no ye hu bi da since 1920. The last time we experienced the economy no was during the Spanish flu 1918 thereabout. Inti ye jitu say definitely the economy no ho akakakra. Ye macroeconomic indicators no e ho akakakra. Nemum ebusafo ye bedi o how ba ko nechi. Ne yato endepa na ya ye ni nyina egu ana. Based on so how back unity and name no kase NDC for ennam no musikrum no mo kan sema enim in sema ese no kre no bodinam na eyetietia se no mo biem no ma yen kese. We have always admitted as a country as a government say a macroeconomic indicators no since 2020 has been difficult and we saw it. Mo share video am peni na na dem kweku for the dikan kasa ye na we knew say we're going to go through these challenges based on what we're experiencing in the year 2020. But the government had to take a decision. That decision was that we had to do whatever we had to do to fix our health system and make sure that we save lives at that crucial moment. And that no matter how bad our economy will be hit, we would work hard to get out of it. And that is why every day, and they be a year your boy home say, you need Ghana for be kabum. Ni atenetene niama ni aboabo niama no ye ho afim anyebia whilst we work and be on these things no do we throw away all the good things we have done as a government? Do we throw away all the good things we have achieved as a country? All the successes I are achieving, all the great things we have done as a country in the past 7 years no ye twegu ana ni akwakodi ba ku mienu nechi ana. We don't do it that way. What you do is that obodi awaye ni nyina aban o protect o consolidate and the power you know na we are na the aka no whilst you are protecting it no wakodi dia aka wunyanye enwie no enunti ene ye ka say omo kwa omo ba omo tuniema egu mframemu edane dane niema eden trolling konto femu no yema ye ninda ho ne yen kai say ene pa ya na yetumi ababedu bebi edu no emra so say yen koye mistake aye no president Kofo Abreso no 2008 yen koye sa mistake ni biem na mum ye bema aban we kwan na ene pa ya ye detumi aboho ban na de aka ye ntumi ye no yetumi aye between the year 2009 and 2016 president Kofo banks na no mo buy ho efiefie mu se ye mbeje bosia no ye kodu 2016 na banks na gu ukọ bank se ukoji usika yes system no go down wa wo deposit a wo akoto ho no utumi di ekire 1 week na wo nsenya ka usika o tro check wo sika 20,000 a bank in the year 2016 o tro check sa wo pesika 10,000 na ye tie ntumi nya 10,000 ma ye benya 5,000 amount banks na asa 2008 no mo di ekise ya meje bosia no na baby o madru na make catch in the year 2016 no aban MDC aban efa Ghana for sika edema banks no so omo hwe no mo fa emboa no mo fa and resuscitate banks no. These banks after receiving aban sika esan shiska no. Some of the banks aban emom sika NDC aban emom sika 2 times 3 times so omo hwe no mo fa mboa na banks no ntumi nyina mo nan so omo san shiska no. Millions of Ghanaians ene ye ba abemu na omo deposit eye at risk edu baby no na ayem hihye kra ba say dodo na deposit mpo eden ebehye. It had to take the same MPP government to come back in the year 2017 to fix our financial sector. The same MPP government. Inti ebrebia na ye ba na de CC no na ya na dum pempeso a yedu a yebetumi akoye nimu a ye besan so jai mu amomo no ma se abese ne bi mu ana na be bia be bedru ya build adie yi ya be siesie adie ama yedum pempenso bi no kre aka ba ko mienu bi e ho de ye nyina agitum se enya ensiye inflation nsam enya ensiye ye forest exchange nsam enya ensiye baby yedru no saa niema we ye no ma ese etum die ni di echi na ye fixe na nye bia ye bedi omokasa omoka na yakase esane saa niema ba ko mienu we nti ene pa yetuma nyina ye janto nchen na yensan fa oman ne shom nsa no mo san be sen de biem no mo sen ni a na yensan afre the same MPP aban say yensan bra na yensan be siesie no eyesa what happens is that your first 4 years na nkase se yetumi de mo oban ne konanim no you spend this time now fixing their mess you be fixing the you know na fe ne ye ba be ye bibi ama ya yankasa ye envisage then we encounter a lot of challenges. That is why we are saying that we want you on a journey with us towards election 2024. Let us separate the facts from the noise. Let's separate the truth from propaganda. Yenye no kreno emfi ntwonim. Yemfa no kreno nto abonten. Na yema Ghana ni bi okwakoto ababia. Enya enyina so soronko a obegina so ayden ato aba. Ene kakra bi ena menum beka ene bibi kakra bi na menum beka. But if you are now copying 7 December there, be rest assured say kwesiada ne yawo da bia no yebehia wa ha ne ya pensem nsemu ne ya biebie nsemu aha no krenko ane yebeka truth and truth only yen diatem yen tietiem yen kasentio bia yen kasentia peni bia so ye PMP so ye PPP so ye NDC yen kasentia no yen yantete yesa ye die ne se dia ye ene yebeka ho asem dia yebetumi ayase yomo ene yebeka dia yesusu se ye ba ye beye ene yebetumi aka na betumi aka kire Ghana fo ye hwe nyina ene se betumi yen ene yen disidie adwuma ye bisi yomo pa no kre ebi aka esese ye but yen tumi nka se ye beja omomo e makakra na ya ye no omo aba bese no already omo ka kire se omo no mani bebre ya kase ye ba ye beye no omo ni gidie wom ade ba ko ene ye critical ene menamu beche na makaka ye nyina se anye so ekrampo no ese yebo saade no ho bae omampani dada osan apre akonya ne bi aka kire dada se ono onni gidie e wo se ebe maga na bibia kwan se onko school free ono na bi mu no onni gidie wom. The question is between the MPP and the NDC, who do you trust to manage your education for you? Education is the bedrock of every economy. Education is the bedrock of every society. Education pe enti nene ama ho kwan na miracles am feel late ekuapema bejede betumeti ya menimu din komo senye education a anka me ne hwan na me firi bepo yi so esene abankran ene mo abedi komo wa wo hwe me a wo kuku a wo ekuase wo mfra no ana wo esojaman enum wo ba wo fase the only way a obenya ho kwan no so ene sikediba etumi atena daba komodi komo ene education. Education hu ehyehyeye ene ntotoye etesen ye ba abemu in the year 2017 na Ghana your education in semono asay, and that is the truth. Oka omuse mayenka ebusuafo no krepa ne say ye ba abemu no na ye education no asay mobeka ya omampeni abereche Dr. Pakwesi Emisata mokai ne re Mrs. Emisata okwa program bi ebu akwa south only teacher for the school for akwa kodin common na dey mebo video no every any moment from now teacher for catch and say yes sir ye pe chalk near their tro near their chen kola na dey ebusa for me ntie their vice president here at that time in the year 2016 o catch Ghana for o catch nkola no e catch teacher for no mo me ntie sima nembra
onye ya pa se talk so who is that me ma will talk and ma will talk on tonight.
I will not provide your school with chalk today and I will not provide it tomorrow. The Parent Teacher Association can go and get a chalk.
Books uniform. And say ya stable. Box ba ko ni bo onye din. Onye ya pa se talk so who is that me
I will not provide your school with chalk today, and I will not provide it tomorrow. The Parent-Teacher Association can go and get a chalk. I will not provide your school with chalk today, and I will not provide it tomorrow. The Parent-Teacher Association can go and get a chalk.
Me and America with the Yankasa Yasumwa, their situation near room. I don't know, say common chalk from Colacrano, not adding chalk crampono, not adding chalk and collaborated it was here the Canady to the extent say na on Mampenia be the chagre catch the teacher for me say so I'm to touch choka or momu chalk and ne or momu chalk china. That is how low our education was under their regime. That is how bad education in this country was under their regime. That is how unsympathetic they were to the needs of this country under their regime. That is how arrogant they were when they were in power. That is how bad they managed our concerns while they were in power. MPP, yeba yani yejitum. Yenim se na ye education infrastructure gap bebre ewum. But quickly, every region, almost all the 16 regions are, you'd realize say, to me, I'm providing a certain level of infrastructure intervention. Okwa half a region, almost about 124, 763 for Ashanti region, 138 for Bunu East, 189, 413 for Eastern, Greater Accra 201, Northern 241, all the way to Western region. Between the year 2017 and 2024, this is what we've been able to do in terms of infrastructure intervention for this country. And yeah, no pencil. Oko your friend is saying ICT infrastructure. You realize that for each of the regions, and ICT is one of the things I hear as a government. Yeah, you're spending so much on. Almost every region, you're investing in infrastructure in ICT to ensure say and Kolano ebenya your friend is saying some modern way of learning no I'm almost too many other children from other parts of the world are competing. And you realize that for each of the regions, I'm making sure say you invest in ICT infrastructure. And this ICT infrastructure, any university for your primary school, any junior high school for assembly came. These are infrastructure intervention for Nkola Ewo primary any basic school to be able to study. It's a very important say you better send them away say you buy no any matter say and as a government you to your boss and you find kakra to make sure say akwale bia ewo Ghana half an bia no ebetumi nya homesuya no so emfaso. Now oko kindergarten say ya you say a lot of our communities across the country at the KG level no really they are almost yan say they want to do kindergarten stage now or the local private school. Other than buying schools who na parents in the na pay nkola kindergarten no. It's simply because nkola ni bebre na kindergarten no and as a public kindergarten schools no it does infrastructure ni ho and infrastructure ni poor. In fact a lot of the KGs say babe to you no mo ti apatasia omusu ade and then no abai provided close to about 795 additional KG blocks in this country to augment what is already in existence. And yeah, no pay. What is even more distinctive about Abai way KGs na yes they say you provided modern kindergartens for Nkolano, and see look at this classroom block. This KG block ewo kwabenya udu kwabenya atomic down wa unsa ufi atomic madina side wa unsa nifa so ubemu school no ho we eye KG eye aban KG enye ye can say enye private school aban KG ena ye si ama your friend is saying nkola omo kwabenya ne potemu a omo suade. Now the question is say ye to be ababedru sampempensu we yes see such a modern facility. Look at the facilities in the KG with the wa for when you say a bank KG block it is here how many a friend is saying private KG square a bit to me any compete and I'm this is a modern KG Musha smart blackboard and collect you see there omo PowerPoint omo do see there. I just say look at this. This is the next chapter of Ghana's kindergarten, and this is what we talk about when we mean we talk about the next chapter. This is where we are taking Ghana's KG. Now moving forward, all public KGs are buying airbabesi going into the future. No, this type of kindergartens are yeduchi akoleyi say enya na nado dan kweku fado ndota bamud ba mi adaroma anka odo okonya tablet wa he no de sua de. But this is what we can do as a government. This is what we think that Ghana deserves. This is what we believe the Ghanaian child also deserves. Because we are self and no ahana nkole nyina eko na de ye ne say sikaniba ye wo na onya 3 months okra tablet na he ni ba de ye say no deserve so no so be sua de o tablet so na nado dan kweku fado ndota bamud ba mi any MPP aban say there be every child deserves to also have a tablet and use one. If you are yanko primary education, Nana Danko Kufado ni MPP abai, for the record, you provided additional 1,217 public primary schools. Yedabeka, they are a word that I know. 1,217. It was your 1,217. It is Obia catcher will say, yes, we are. Catcher say, we transfer and yanokre. Yes, wow. You sound so added in such a degree about primary education. You the National Standardized Test System for Primary 24 aba. Osha, you realize that enkanono na enkola omutumi kinkan by the time omo primary 2 a copy primary 4 no na e wo fam ntakola no call aban school yes o aban school there odu class 2 class 4 kra onima kinkan enso call private school class 1 na o kan ade na ade ebusuafo ene me no ka say based on intervention abide by since 2017 bepemu 90 enkola just about 2% per and as at 2015 now omo primary 2 a omutumi kinkan ene based on reforms area bentino enkola na omutumi kinkan by primary 2 no movie called 38%. This is what we call progress. This is what we call transformation. This is what we call reformation. Enti saban biaba na enkola na aban dada na ho no enkola mo primary 2 omutumi kan dey 2%. Aban biaba or the sakrai bebre aba ene apeja akọ 38%. Obi say sisa sa aban na wo peja ade na ko 38% no na fa koma de odoko 2% no enti asie be mu a eyeye primary schools na yesi ne bebre bi nie ukọ asokwa adansi asokwa ademra primary ukọ akachi primary afam plain south ukọ labando nampani primary school pandai ukọ agbogba anglican cluster school guys a whole list of them ni nyina ewo ho and ye be say feed the kono we are going to publish all these documents ye be publish afa bia newspaper nkra beba na obi to me bia kan because we don't want we want to make sure say akole bia ebe to me nya ade adesua papa yeden esua mobeka ya embra o mampeni nkofo ba ba mu na Ghana ha nkola bebre katefi o munko school UNESCO for reports any ade na nkola do so munko school. It took a while and o mampeni nkofo yes hwehwe no say one of the main reasons why nkola ni bebre katefi o munko primary school ni GHS no it was because of poverty. Ohia ahochire nti education became a privilege for the few, for the rich. Niwa na your constitution no 1992 ya throw we say ma basic education free, compulsory, akwalebia, and yet it was not implemented. Omampeni kofo ebaye no he ensured say obema basic education actually free. Oka say na menka and it was an MPP government who made basic education truly free. and made sure say all barriers, including cost, will be taken out. When I have video way, this was when Omampeni Kufuor, during an MPP era, was actually launching the free compulsory universal basic education to ensure say Ghana ni bia or what Ghana have an enina ebe to when school aye dey ako.
Today is a very special day all over Ghana because today is the first day indeed for the implementation of the new educational reform policy. I'm sure you've all heard of it. And this policy is being launched for all of Ghana. That I'm here in Savologo to be part of this first day at school ceremony to send a message to all of you. Government has its top priority policy of human resource development. And this is why government has made it compulsory that from now on, education, formal education begins with kindergarten. All the children of Ghana at age 4, like my grandchildren in the front desk here, till they are about age 15. No parent or community can make an excuse out of poverty. Poverty does not come in at all. The state is going to look after the children, pay the school fees for all of them. So community should ensure that all these children who are being registered today will stay in school from age 4 right through age 15. Today is a very special day all over Ghana because today is the first day indeed for the implementation of the new educational reform policy. I'm sure you've all heard of it. And this policy is being launched for all of Ghana. That I'm here in Savologo to be part of this first day at school ceremony to send a message to all of you. Government has its top priority policy of human resource development. And this is why government has made it compulsory that from now on, education, formal education begins with kindergarten. All the children of Ghana at age 4, like my grandchildren in the front desk here, till they are about age 15. No parent or community can make an excuse out of poverty. Poverty does not come in at all. The state is going to look after the children, pay the school fees for all of them. So community should ensure that all these children who are being registered today will stay in school from age 4 right through age 15. Today is a very special
nti ebusafo se wohwe nkola na kofo edina omanimo ne omokasa na omampeni kofo ankasa enu tu nkai se cost should no longer be an issue for the Ghanaian child at the basic level. Cost should no longer be an issue for the Ghanaian child at the basic level. It was obvious that poverty was destroying the future of the young children of this country. It was very obvious. Now we shall call on MTC na say ni yetumi moving towards this age of digitalization to have this kind of environment for our children. Na say obi catcher or say yenjai we ni yenkofa bibi fofra clearly nipa no oye enemy of the state. Ene yenna be dia dance say it's an FQ where President Kufuor actualizing yenti within that period immediately numbers no edoboye edu baby kura no President Kufuor mu say in spite of fees no kura we year free ho ama education no akwakoye free at the basic level no still ampo na edumu entumi inform back to school it's an say akola no school a de obedi ed. Even after paying for the child's fees, the obedi krano edding. And see, also the free school feeding a day, a buy. And no, and a man numbers no, a triple year at the primary school level, and quickly moved towards the junior high school level. So, like when President Kufuor brought FQ, there was a challenge, if you recall. That was when basic education infrastructure and also difficult. Because, of course, now Kwala school no so. Into that classroom blocks and all so and no so. Into by the time of President Kufuor, banko school no. Now for Kwala Eco school not do so say school there and no in the map President Kufuor the HIPIC fund can be na ACC HIPIC school are dying across the country. Into na baby abefebia Ubomu school dying actual constructed by HIPIC fund, HIPIC initiative. Even then, when Kufuor removed cost as a barrier, this country experienced infrastructural crisis because logically, that is what is going to happen. So when you cost ni free or na so be a baby pay in konya be shorty, school are down be shorty. Now the question is, do you say it's son says school are down na shorty, na konya shorty nti chichinati mintian kolani bi no munte fie na hwan ba na ntine fie na hwan ba na be school. The MPP government then decided say no, we are not going to allow anybody's child to stay at home. Every child should have access to basic education. We are going to pay for their fees and we are going to feed them in addition. Enti obia be school baby say shift system baby ankola na betra bom 3 within that period no na President Kufuor e the HIPIC sika no ACC school down no across the country. Enti ena by the time you do 2008 no, now we can all attest to the fact that the numbers at the basic level had doubled or tripled. And then the same MPP are buying to education and not truck crown are buying to me febi mankola. MPP are buying at the junior high school level no has added 1791 junior high schools. And they building aka existing ones no. You see schools keke. You see schools in Uswa. You see schools with modern facilities. And you can look at this. This is a model basic school. We a private school, a buying school. This is the model schools, the new system that this government is introducing to our basic education. These are young junior high school students sitting in a lab, a modern lab, and learning hands-on. We are preparing our children for the future. We are making sure that our children are ready for what is ahead of them, so they can compete with the Japans and can compete with the Chinese and can compete with Malaysians. Say, and almost here, this is a junior high school lab. A lot of us here media dance say, yeah, called GHS. Now we ladies and gentlemen, this is the next chapter of Ghana's junior high school education. And it's very important, say, we all come to agree and accept, say, maybe a year we have to protect this. This is again, we have to protect. Now, if we going into the future, moving forward, the kind of JHS I see my way, and no maybe ye actually we and yet 3D, we and your green book, we any paper. So this is a building that is actually happening in this country. Junior high school are buying Asia as a university. That is the kind of buildings that the next chapter of Ghana's junior high school education is bringing to us. I didn't think I could be called GIS. Or to be called school day mu FM. I don't know be called a friend say Lenkana or to be called school day FM. Now I buy our no wasika. I see I'm cranking miano. Yeah, the gorgeous bag. You any L classroom block na you see my emba. Now could rack classroom ma fan cramp or a boho crampono and yejuma baby na kra nibi ceiling crampono omu nibi. Why can't we think and get into the future? That is what this government has started. That is what we are doing. And that is why we are saying that it must be protected. It must be protected. And in protecting it, your vote is what will count. Let's look at the video of the new model schools that we are building for the junior high schools.
undertaken by the Nana Addo Akufo-Addo-led administration in Ghana's education sector has significantly improved access to quality education and created better learning environment for students across the country. The commitment shown by both President Akufo-Addo and the Minister for Education, Honorable Dr. Yaose Educhum, underscores their dedication to advancing education as a cornerstone of national development. These videos and pictures shows how these buildings used to be and how they've been transformed.
The next chapter of Ghana's GHS, the next chapter of Ghana's Junior High School in Amushi. We and yet 3D. We a school there by SCSC ho. And this is the type of junior high school, sir. The next chapter of Ghana's junior high school education. Yeba BC Afa Ghana half and engineer. We know can say 11 of these buildings have been built across the country. Say and a year fa your junior high school education no ako. And this game must be protected. Ejuma BC no esi a bon buying, esi a protected. In Korea will show me they also deserve to sit in such classroom blocks. Just as their rich counterparts, no, they also deserve to sit in such classroom blocks. Yaya we nyina no, ye di sa dwumade we nyina no. Na ye hwe teacher for edwuma mu nsem, hwe teacher for kanko, hwe teacher for ayebe form se na be ya nkola nso adekire mu na desue mu no benya teacher for kye omade. Teacher for do a aban aform if 2017 ekopim 2023 and amuhwe. In the year 2017-2018, yefa teacher form grad diploma and almost about 14,170, graduate 9,100, non-graduate 10,540, non-teaching staff 1,445, total 35,255. 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. Na eto de bia ade baako a ye na ehonsem ka edimpa ebusuafo ene teacherfo akatua mu nsem na aha no nka ya sembi ade baako a ye opponent ne ade pa ne say ye ya emfa ho ade bia aban ya ye omo de ye ya ne akofa exchange rate ene ya ne akofa inflation enokre. As a matter of fact, and let me put it on record here, exchange rate and inflation in some every the year 2022 bepe moneno a hard dream, and this government has not run away from it. What we have rather done is to continuously work with the citizens and stakeholders to ensure say we get it fixed and fixed once and for all. Very important, but also very important for us to know to say the difference between a good government and a very bad government. And say abai no oyeno say or how bit say inflation ni exchange rate ho e ba o make sure say or the niema toto akwemu ekushin edumayeni no say ne be ya edumayeni no enko ka ne bebre. And I'll prove to you here on this screen. Mo hwe teachers are omo emphasize two categories: principal, superintendent, a rank e wo teachers omo edumani, and a assistant director too, and no see rank. As of December 2016, teacher near or your principal superintendent, now the pay I the man 1,351. A principal superintendent as of December 2016 was earning 1,351 cedis. 1,351 cedis. As at ene principal superintendent 2024 or just 3,699 into what calculate the difference. No? What it means is that say aban jutu musa inflation na kosro enti nyama bo ayedi enti wa make sure say obeto akatwe nim akodum pempenso bia empo enu nya katua anka say yehwe pa esese unya obi enu na katua so no from private sector to public sector duma eni bia ye dia ne say mbe bia ye duma ye press ye benya katua ni bia kan no kre no doubt about that. Nemom sika ukra no in 2016 akatua na yetua wo no ade ananka wo tona ya no say ade ne bo ayedin ne enti to aba na yi aban ne gu no ene usika na ukura no etumi to saade no more dodo essence na nanka obeto in 2016 no assistant director 2,626 and an origin in 2016 and then oje 4,453 now akatuamu nsemu nyina no de ha ne o purchasing power say aban tua wo car usika no edie netumi ye Mr. Mushadi Mame. In the year 2016, principal superintendent na ye ka on 17 no je 1,351 okoto anwa 5 liters anwa sambre no na 2016 ye to anwa no 45 cedis enti enei se woni yaro mu kasa de mbaka oyo no ye ya breso na 45 ene 97 ne boy de enkre no kre pa ne se na 2016 December na 45 cedis ene 97 cedis enokre na mu hwe bibi 2016 no na utumi de usika na bind ma no eto 5 liter no mako 30 ene a omu tie mu se ne boa ye denti to aban ne gu no aban ato akatu enum because aban jitu mu se etse okushi no nti ne the same oil no se okoto a obeto mako 38. The question is, do you prefer to receive 1,351 so you can buy oil at 45 cedis, or even though you don't prefer that it's at 97, at least government has recognized the fact that in times of the difficulties where we are trying to get ourselves out of it, no, on kushino, send your beya usikano, ebetumi ato ade no, and then auto the do since and now auto in 2016, no, and this is bare fact. This is truth. This is no propaganda. This is no skewing. This is the matter of facts. 25 liters no. Na obeto mako ensia 6 and then obeto mako enson enti no kre na 220 cedis and then 483 but esa ne sa ban no ewa badaye adwin ehu se wo achew kakra esane ade na ne boa edinti oma waketua ebetumi ama wato dodo mpo sense na wo sie den eto no enti in terms of the waketua na etumi ye in 2016 no kra pa ne se wo hwe basic goods ya etumi ye more ene than your waketua could do in 2016. Bag of maize now better 10 bags and then better 18 bags. Kenke now better kenke so kasa usika no ni na ekoto dokuno aboni se ni na ekoto dokuno better mako 675 and better more better 739 into no crepa ne say ampa kenke ne bo akosoro de ne mum aban no dwin nti wa make sure say waketua no so ebeko ne dim se ne be abetumi atododo esense na besi atoro no carton of milk and nay 2016 now we see can betumi ato milk carton mako enwotwe and then ebeto enkono 2016 now we see can betumi ato packet of fruit mienu and then ebeto enan principal superintendent now we see can betumi ato assistant director 2 now we see can beto carton of milk by 9 and nay eto 11 now see can beto and chance no packet mienu and then eto 5 enti no kwepa ne say saban nyaya anka ne boa medu sei debi enye no na ban hwehwe kra aban ne so de hu ne say mbre bia ye betoto nyoma hyehye nyoma se ne be ya nyema no ebo no be kofem enso busiafo eto de bia leadership there you meet difficulties and challenges, you meet crisis. We share challenges and difficulties, crisis now. The way you say, only a month for the Kabum ye, Juma, a yim humphy, or how nemu unto near man on Nina entering two and seven cold and in doing that, no, a buy will ensure say, or Bemba will be big a crack cushion with him, send a bayer would do media wood, you know, a bit to me a costro, and that's exactly what this government has done. Ye can win na ye kono, na buy a share. Within the education space. Some of them are technical and vocational education. Technical school, vocational school. Baby, no. Now, yes, say, yeah, now you're born, yes, enka na yesi ekọ vocational school nti ye school say ya yesi o mansa de wanya de onya 23 ye fa no kọ vocational school no nkosua se na esi ne aduane ye fa no kọ vocational school no nkosua mechanic ene ya sesa omo ya de for pa nyom ho pa wo sika pa na yom kọ technical and vocational ene so wo pesa wo ya de for na wonya ho pa technical and vocational school nti aban ba no say baby technical and vocational kodo no this is not where it's supposed to be. We are supposed to elevate it and make sure say it becomes a lot more nice and creative and attractive for the young Ghanaian. Into the such a degree about technical education to the extent say, and then know say as I speak to you today, I invested over 6.7 billion Ghana cedis in technical vocational education in Ghana just to ensure say you be pay them now. Yes, we are technical vocational education. No, according to say Germany, Singapore, Malaysia, Sweden, no more than that. No, okay, Germany. More being power on person who school pano or technical vocational. Because some no baby, you know, my year cars and they cake on and nunti and I buy a technical vocational education. So I am free. Say they will be a baby to my day. I could be now or consua with me. I'm panso. If you are buying be more money free, no, and also so I say and Colado do a school, no, a pager. Currently, in fact, as of 2016, now the total number of students who are technical and vocational is 41,696 as of 2016. And then a pager boom, a call 157,681. And more than 300% also. From 41,000 to 157,000. That is how much the enrollment in technical and vocational education is gone. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the next chapter of technical and vocational education. We have moved on. Long have we moved on from that type of technical and vocational education that is disregarded. We are doing modern, hands-on technical and vocational education training in this country. These are real images are a one my woman. Yes, we are more technical and vocational. This is what you have. This is what you have. In fact, no video be cry me watching and me on the technical vocational. This is the next chapter of Ghana's technical education. Today, there were almost about 6 or 7 automobile companies or more assemble cars. Toyota for assemble cars. Renault for assemble cars. And say yes, your friend is saying automobile companies in normal assemble cars were here, and you will here say, you remember your man also are you ready? Say the bear in Numana a what's our space on between a day in Yibi. Maybe you video be at them, and this video shows you where this government is taking technical and vocational education. We show video now, you realize this is the future of vocational training and technical training.
No, the same thing
I see a boy with mobile. I see a protected sal legacy way. I see a consolidated gains way. I see a consolidated against we. This is the future. These are young people who are readying themselves to compete with every young person anywhere in the world. Whether you're from Malaysia, whether you're from Japan, whether you're from Indonesia, whether you're from Thailand, the young Ghanaian is ready to face you. The young Ghanaian is ready to compete with them. And this is what will help to fix the industrial base of our economy that we are all fighting for as a people. The next chapter of technical vocational education is here, and it must be protected. Yeko yenimuno. Yeko yenimuno bisafo. In doing all of these things, there is a very important subject matter. I don't know me did say yen to me ye beye na ye wie na china yaba next week at the next episode. But it's important that we introduce that subject matter now. Embra President Kufuor launch F Cube. Maybe a few minutes ago no. Embra President Kufuor launch F Cube. No ama basic education aye free no. A lot of people today, most of them are in the opposition say it wasn't possible and Ghana wasn't ready. And that the constitution said we should make it progressive. So what is the rush? But the evidence is that immediately President Kufuor introduced FQ enrollment at the basic school tripled. Numbers of the course primary school, numbers of the dorsal, GHS, dorsal. Now the school feeding back county. Obiaba, we need excuse. So one for Banana school and say without more ding because excuse me anyhow. And so Banana school nibi. And now the President Kufuor in the year 2008. Nana Danko Kufuor and we say with what President Kufuor has done, any they were introducing it see and when this country is about to face a crisis at the senior high school level. And or shall say Obohu Dero okay in the year 2008. Nana Kufuor started preaching in 2008 the BBBA treaty. Say and calling na and kola no ma wofo here moa and so much to me basic school. I nti o man peni Kufuor ba ni ye free o mu metumi akode a ene san kola nyina hia moa and so much to me senior high school. Nti esese ye make sure say o so menya ho kwan no so man den o makobi aden nti ne sese etumi wo man a ye be pre bibia na yasa pre adesua anya hwe kwambo no adesua de anahomesua de esese ye basic fundamental obia nya ho kwan no ntumi nkobi na ye nyina yakɔwie a na senso so no bebe mu a yenim sɛ me na mentumi amfa de amesua na ye den anya adwuma enti edu bebi no na Danko Kufuor wa haha ɔka ho asɛm because nkola yi nyina so were coming to the senior high school na sɛ ohia mbo ansa tumi akɔ basic school dia adenti na ohia mbo ansa wakɔ secondary school. So it was quite obvious, so we needed to make provision for that. Again yakasa ye mayimu no wonim sɛ senior high school education ne bo ɛden ɛsen primary and GHS no. It is a primary GHS where we nyɛ sika nkɔ na secondary school we nyɛ sika ɛden akɔ ɛnu ti na 2008 na Danko Kufuor do say o preach say anke beya based on evidence are abanti no anke yema senior high school so yɛden ɛyɛ free yɛ kan yɛ no mo me yentie the opponent no they are omo kan yɛ ya no fo yɛ no yɛ mo ho yɛ omo se yɛ nto aba mo mbra no mo me yentie omo kan yɛ. I can tell you say that was the time na NDC for omo nam krom omo yɛ demonstration. In fact, at some point they were even demonstrating against a policy that had not been introduced. So policy afena na candidates no a preachers or the beba no omo ya advert mako 40 edit years our policy and say it's not possible. That how can you pay for the senior high school fees for every Ghanaian child? That is not possible. Omo ya advert in fact demonstrations that was when they were marching on the street. Free education 419, free education 419. They actually did that as a political party. Then they went on to hold press conferences against the free senior high school. In fact, NAIBM, the same general secretary of the NDC, general secretary of fair press conference was say free senior high school a 419 policy. They poo-pooed this policy. They fought against it. They said it was not possible. And I'm doing contemporary training Nada 2008 elections. Ladies and gentlemen, between the year 2008 and 2016, and close to about 100,000. And I'm to school. Through no fault of theirs. Because I can tell you for a fact to say, na school fees, any secondary education, no ed. And these children, omo yankola na kofo ti omo school fees amo free asa amo eduanedi. Enti eba ne say na sa akwala no kofes ka no wo he no dey secondary school. what was happening at our senior high school at that time, what some of the headmasters were actually saying, and what was happening to our children in the senior high school at that time. Just look at this and tell yourself why we had to wait for that long before opening access for our children at the senior high school level.
Moving on to education now, and school authorities at the St. Aquinas Senior High in Accra have threatened to sack final year students who do not pay their fees by Monday, April 27, despite a GS directive to allow them to write the West African Senior School Certificate Examination.
344 out of 415 final year students owe fees to the tune of 130,000 cedis.
We have threatened the students. I, the headmaster, threatened them that if they do not pay, then in the other way, the best method I can do, the last one, is just to get them out of the class.
The school authorities say they are handicapped and fear students may not pay fully their fees before completing the course.
They're owing about 1.3 billion old Ghana cedis. And as of now, we talk about maybe about 20% might have finished paying their fees. And so it means we need to find a way to get the money, because maybe we may be dragged to the Public Accounts Committee for the existing debt that appears in the school.
But this is contrary to the directive from the GES for schools to allow candidates to write the West African Senior School Certificate Examination.
Moving on to education now, and school authorities at the St. Aquinas Senior High in Accra have threatened to sack final year students who do not pay their fees by Monday, April 27, despite a GS directive.
This is the situation now. Near Manuum, young Colano secondary school. No, this is the situation. And young miracles are make out. Young not about me and neck out. And young people are neck for the neck out. This was our reality. This was our situation. This is what our children were going through at the senior high school level. This is the situation we are in, and that is why it was very critical. Say, as a country, we have to do something about this, because you have any education, you have any idea. So we are just a few more the the more educated citizens we have, the faster we grow as a country. Na DNF say obewa banya obepese odi nyoma opia betumi nya ho faso ebeba eto de bi ne ka wo ha befisi e kama na bosoro do no krepa ne say amanfo brewo ipe nyambo wo obi enya na nka ne ba beko biwo enso kofa ne obi enya nka ne ba ne so be shatare ne biwo enso kofa ne adenti ene yemma ho kwan na bibi papa sei no yemmo ho ban ne yemfa mba ewieye prekope obeka akola na ocho lete ekoma omampeni dada John Dramani Mahama no ene mu bibi o University of Ghana mo kai sa lete no anamba si esa hwe bio mo me esa hwe sa lete ni bio ne enkomba ne medi nkomo.
Dear Your Excellency John Dramani Mahama, good evening, sir. My name is Shadrach Ishen and I come from Kujukrum in the Western region. Sir, in my young life of 15 years, I have tasted hopelessness, seen the benefit of health insurance and the pain of health insurance being taken away. I have also seen the promise of free education, and now I live in fear of free education being cancelled. I come from a family of 8 siblings. In my home, we had to toss a coin to ascertain who went to school because my parents could only pay for one child. Today, all my siblings and peers from my village are in senior high school. I never dreamt that I, the son of a taxi driver from Kujukrum, will attend Accra Academy. My friend from the village, whose father is a shoemaker, is now in Presec. Yes, Presec in Legon, Accra. Excellency, my story is real. I am not acting. I, the boy from Kudu Krumi, is now the captain of the Accra Academy soccer team and the sports prefect as well. Again, my name is Shadrach Ishen. You can cross-check. With all due respect, sir, were you not a beneficiary of free education, although you came from a privileged background? So then why are we, the children of the poor, not good enough? Why do you want to abolish free SHS in any shape or form? Sir, today in Ghana, you will not find any boy of school-going age assisting a shoemaker as I used to do. Your Excellency, the human resource capacity free SHS is building will make Ghana a first world country in my lifetime. Or perhaps is it because an educated generation will not accommodate empty political promises? But sir, that is what Ghana needs, an educated people. Sir, a true leader is one whose ideas outlive him. Free SHS is not that simple. It's a destiny shift. Dear Your Excellency John Dramani Mahama, good evening, sir. My name is Shadrach Ishen and I come from Kujukrum in the Western region. Sir, in my young life of 15 years, I have tasted hopelessness, seen the benefit of health insurance and the pain of health insurance being taken away. I have also seen the promise of free education and now I live in fear of free education being cancelled. I come from a family of 8 siblings. In my home,
this
we had
is a reality. Gentlemen, we Anka every senior school, Anka Waka Okojukro. Anka Waka. Ene, or University of Ghana. You had never baha. You had never baha, and now watching them in the moon. Now, you need to come on. How a vibrant life like this gentleman was going to be destroyed, but for intervention by government. You're good. You're work site. You're cool. I mean, you I didn't say you didn't see this as a canon. Ebeshe, your friend is saying, Yankolano. Apparently, there are hundreds of thousands of other children on Montisano. You should be doing so.
14 years when I dropped out of school because I was pregnant. That was in the year 2009. I was 14 years by then. So since then, when I had my first child, I was having this desire to go back to school. But because of financial constraint, I was hawking to provide for myself and for my child. So I decided I would go back to school. So as I was preparing, I got pregnant again because I was staying with a man. So I had to drop that desire again and start all over. But along the line, I had a desire that I wanted to go back to school. And unfortunately, I got pregnant the third one. Yes. But after that, I decided I would go to school. So I left the man and I started my life. From there, I started selling to provide for myself and the children. And many people were advising me that I was brilliant, that I should go back to school. So I took the bold step and I went to so-called Aboagye MAGHS Form 2. That was 2018. And in 2019, I wrote my BEC and I passed. I was admitted in Maoli School, which was last year. I want to thank the government. I know it's not only me that is going through this, and because of the free SHS, I've come back to school. There are a lot out there. To me, it is a good thing. It is a good thing, and I thank the government. I want to become a midwife. It's a good thing, and I thank the government. Yes, when I dropped out of school because I was pregnant. That was in the year 2009. I was 14 years by then. So since then, in the year 2009, I was 14 years.
Young lady here. Candidate way. Young girl. I want to support opportunities and also a baby be a man. Candidate way. ebusiafo. We need to protect and consolidate our gains. Yema ye ho kwan. Na ye obi bimpo ebe ya mo de mo mayem protect no. E protect we a na de akebia yetime. Emayen to wengu. Emayen to wengu. Thursday Yawada Free Senior High School story no Yawada nkasa ene ebeka hosem. Like I said, this is the next chapter. Pure facts, no propaganda, no insult, no lies. Every Ghanaian deserves the right to know and have a basis to vote. And what we'll do here is to put out the real issues and nothing else. Yet the media houses are almost picky and ne program ne don't mean us. The banana first almost 1 person come. Next week, Yawada, the GD say a lot more media houses will join. Adom TV ase, Yada Angel TV, Yada Oman FM, Yada Net2 TV ase, Yada Net2 TV ase. And also almost about 22 community radio stations. Yada Want to Meet TV ase, Yada Movement TV, Yada ABC TV ase, Yada Energy TV ase, Achemansa TV, FM Yada Mase, Adansi FM, Heritage, German Radio Yada Mase, Ketri, Subampa, Ahunepa, Maka Energy Radio Yada Afima FM, Bosumi FM, Okoli FM, Virgin City Radio, Osikeni Republic, Biapa, Nkomo Glory, Icon, VOV Radio, any 1,100 information centers are in May, Mapeki programming na Yadamase. We a chance if we a copy December 7th. We would not allow a single falsehood to survive in our political space. The ayaye yebeka hunsem. The yen to me ye yebeka hunsem. Ubi any swadi muono yebeka.